How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing, man? It's Hoop Near the podcast, man. I'm here with my boy OT.
What's
Otis,
good?
man,
What's
talk to
good?
him, man. We got a special guest in the building.
Man, we going from the Seattle vets to now the Seattle youngins, man. And we got a real one of the brightest stars to come out of Seattle in a while on the mic right now.
Yeah, man. We got good Paolo Banchero, man. Definitely, this is somebody you guys have definitely heard about. Um, Not just in Seattle, around the world. One of the top 3 recruits on most websites.
Number one over here though. We saying he's number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it was definitely all day product. Seattle Rotary EYBL product for the last 3 years.
And right there you said that, Fred. I remember you as a freshman walking in onto the EYBL floor, and one of the first people that you had to play in the Boo Williams tournament was who was it, Fred? James
Uh,
Wiseman.
Yeah.
Yep, Wiseman, big fella.
What was your thought process? What was you thinking, knowing as a freshman you about to step on the court against probably the best player in the nation at that point?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was session 4. So by that time, I was, I wasn't scared of nothing. I was used to it by then, and I'd already had a good previous 3 sessions, so I was confident, coming into it. I knew I was gonna have the biggest challenge by far. They had the one other guy, DJ Jeffries.
Mm-hmm.
That was Jaden's matchup.
Yeah.
So I just knew, my focus was on defense. Really, I was just going to try and contain him. Make it hard for him. He's huge. Like, he's 7'1". He's strong. And I mean, I held my own though. We was a tight game. I think I outscored him that game. Matter of fact.
Yep.
So that was a challenge though. After that, I really felt like I was stamped and I could do this at a high level after playing him.
Yeah, just to go back just a little bit, P, I want you to talk about like your mindset going into that, because I just remember after the first session, like everybody was, talking about how, this underclassman was, he was really dominating. You was a freshman. I think at the time they said you was averaging like 14 and 10. So just talk a little bit about like, was your mindset, were you trying to like have something to prove going into that EYBL first year?
Yeah. Just because I felt like, I felt like I was not overlooked, but I just felt like I could get talked about a little more. Going into that, I remember Coach Darrell, he wasn't sure about it. I remember Coach Jamal was the head coach of 17s, and he was, telling me the whole high school season, I'm gonna have you on the 17s this year. I'm gonna bring you on the 17s. But I remember going into that, Coach Darrell, he wanted me to play 16s. but and even my parents, they wasn't even sure about it.
Yeah.
I was trying to kind of talk me out of it a little bit, and I was like, man, no, like, I'm trying to play. So they was like, yeah, we're gonna see how the first 2 sessions go, and then depending on how it go, like you might get moved up, you'll stay if it's going well. So going into that, I myself, like, I was pretty confident, just because I was starting and we had a good team, so it wasn't like I had too much on my plate. I just had to play my role really, and so yeah, that first session, first game we played Team Mello.
Yep.
And I think I had like 17, and after that, like, I just hit the ground running. After that,
Yeah,
we was rolling.
Yeah, the game, it seems like, sometimes it looks like as if you're not engaged, but the game comes so easy to you. And, being a big man in today's era is so vital, like to be able to do multiple things on the floor, to be able to play both sides of the floor. And you fit that mold, P. Like going forward, like where do you think you're best at position wise? Like, I mean, I don't even think you have a cap on you, but where do you see yourself at position wise?
Yeah, looking at the NBA, like, it's really positionless now. Obviously, you got guards and forwards and bigs, but really, I mean, you see like Jokic and Bam and dudes like that, just doing whatever. But I see myself as a forward for sure. I accept that role as a forward, a combo forward, can play the 4 or 5, really 3 through 5, really. Just anything, small ball 5, whatever. But I think whatever position I play, I can be a mismatch. So that's where I
Mhm.
find my advantage at.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing with positionless is are you able to take advantage of your matchups? I want you to talk about just defensively in regards to positionless. P, like, what do you see for yourself on the defensive end? You talk about 3 through 5, so what you
Yeah.
see for yourself?
Yeah, I think I can play 3 through 5. But I
Mhm.
think I can guard 1 through 5. Really.
Mhm. There you
Um,
go.
yeah. So, I think my defense is really slept on. I won
Mhm.
Metro Defensive Player of the Year.
You
So
did.
obviously won some for that. But I think on a national scale, it really is slept on. Like I went against a lot of top players, and none of them have really had good games against me, if I'm being honest.
Right.
Matter of fact, a lot of them have had bad games against me. While I'm
Talk it then, P.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I really think my defense is kind of overlooked, um, which I think is the reason. I just feel like that's what separates me. Just me being able
Yeah.
to guard 1 through 5. I'm strong enough to guard 5s and 4s, but I'm quick enough and can move my feet and use my length to guard 3s and 1s and 2s. So yeah, I think defense is a big part of my game that
Mhm.
isn't seen as much.
Mm. Fast forward, I mean, you blew up after your freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year. You was pretty much solidified as a top 5 player in your class, and then it's going into your senior year. I mean, I look at the two names that these guys, these recruiting sites have ahead of you. I personally don't see, as you just said, I don't think that they are as multi-positional as you. And on top of that, there's something that you did at Rotary over the last 3 years that a lot of people haven't been able to do. You win. And you
Yeah.
did that at O'Day High School too.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, is what is that most important to you is regardless of the stats or the rankings, like is winning is what drives you.
Yeah, nah, for
Mhm.
sure, for sure. That's end all be all for me. It just so happens that usually when you're playing winning basketball, you're playing well. So
Yeah.
for me, that's how I am. But yeah, I've won really in every sport that I've played, every level. Like I
Yeah.
don't
Yep.
know, it's just followed me around everywhere I went. So that's the biggest thing for me. No matter what camp, it could be a camp, it could be a practice, anything. Like I'm trying to win whatever drill, whatever camp setting it is. That's the biggest number one priority.
And I think that's one thing people don't see with you, you know what I mean? Like they don't understand how competitive you are, how much you want to win, and I've watched you grow over the years. And that's one thing that I've liked about you from the Rotary to O'Day is that you're competitive and you want to win. It's not just about you. You want to bring your guys along with you. So that's
Exactly.
definitely one thing people should look out for is that competitive edge, that drive.
Nah, and it's crazy when I think about it because growing up,
Yeah.
Rotary, like I remember Rotary, especially the EYBL teams, they never really had winning seasons, really ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
We
then
talked about that too. They
yeah,
struggled on the national scene. Well,
yeah, they really
mhm.
would only play well in Vegas for some reason. But
Yeah.
on the circuit, they would never really play good.
Yep.
And then it just so happens my first year playing 17s, we make Peach. And then the next year
Yeah.
we beat Peach. And then this year we would have been an easy top 5 team. So like,
Yeah, y'all would have been there.
yeah, just so when you think about it like that, like sometimes it go over my head, but sometimes when I look back on it, it just shows that winning does kind of follow me in a way. So, it's cool.
That's
and
what's
winning
up.
it and winning followed you also to O'Day High School, where you are now your senior in your senior year. Uh, let's just say, if last year was your last game in an O'Day uniform, what 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 did not only the school teach you, what did Coach Carr mean to your basketball career as well?
Mhm.
Yeah, the school I would say the school first. Any star athlete that has came out all day knows that walking around all day, nobody treats you like a star athlete.
Mhm.
Everybody, all the teachers, all the students, they treat you like you're another one of them, which is a good thing in my opinion, just because you're not put on a pedestal really. But Coach Kerr, yeah, I give a lot of credit to Coach Kerr, because anyone who watched me play when I was younger, I was always talented for sure, but I had trouble, my motor and playing hard all the time, stuff like that. But as soon as I got to O'Day, playing summer league, about to be a freshman, I was on varsity, but I rode
He tuned you up early, huh?
yeah, rode the bench that whole summer. And I remember, talking to talking to Daryl, talking to my parents, being, pissed off because I wasn't getting no time, like no. And I knew I was talented enough to start, but I just, it hadn't clicked for me yet. So, he told me, he had right before the summer ended, him and Coach Brown told me that, once I, play hard and, practice hard every day, like there's no one who will be starting over me. Like I'm one of the best players. So I played football that year and we won state. So that kind of gave me a boost a little bit. And then, I just came in and I remember like the first couple of practices, I don't even think I scored, but I was just trying to run up and down as fast as I could, trying to get every rebound, just trying to play hard.
Energy.
Yeah. Nah, my first high school game, we played Roosevelt and I had 13 and 23 rebounds. Like I was just trying to just do everything, like just play hard. Like that was all that was in my head. Like not even score, just play hard, just hustle, all that. And so by like the fourth or fifth game, I was starting as a freshman. So I give a lot of credit to Coach Carr for pushing me and always holding me to a high standard.
Go ahead. Fred, as an 09 graduate, I mean, you can relate to that. Coach Carr was there when you was there, right?
Yeah, man. I got to just briefly. I got to Franklin in I want to say 06, my sophomore year. I transferred from Foster, so I understand what P's talking about. A lot of people they don't like Coach Carr, but if you play for him, you understand. He's. I talked to my guy Clint about this, but your high school coach is probably like your most important coach. And still to this day, I feel like Coach Carr is my most important coach because those qualities that he taught me and those working hard and things of that nature is still stuck with me. You know what I mean? I remember freshman year at Seattle U with Cam, I didn't play for 9 games, and Coach Carr came to the game and he talked to me, and I'll never forget what he told me. Like, you've done this before. When you came to Franklin, you had to start over. You had to figure it out. It's the same thing. So, P, you understand those messages, those goals. You talk about that just a little bit, man.
Yeah, with Coach Carr.
Yeah, those that stuff that he talks to you about that you're starting to get now, and that's going to take with you forever, even as you go on to the next level.
Yeah, he just preached to me, especially starting like my sophomore year, because that was when it really started. I really started, separating myself, becoming, like one of the best players. He was just, he always talked to me about Peyton.
And man, listen, quickly, I seen him break Siva down. I seen him break Vanoy down, like that's when I knew that you would be good, because I've seen him break some dudes down.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So keep going. I didn't mean to cut you off, Pete.
Nah, you good. And he just would talk to me about Peyton all the time, and how, how he stayed on Peyton and how he would just be on Peyton's head every game, every practice. But, when he was on Peyton, it showed, all the other players that if he's on Peyton like this, don't take it personal when he's on you like this, or accept coaching when he give it to you. Because if he's coaching the best player like that, then you should have no problem when he coaches you like that. And just how it, it gels the team and stuff like that, and how it makes everybody buy in. No one's getting any special treatment. So yeah, when he told me that, it really helped me, just being able to accept tough coaching.
Yep.
And not take things personal. Hear the message, not the tone that he's saying it in.
Right.
So that's probably one of the biggest lessons for me that I've got from Coach Carr.
That's good.
And also, Fred, you want to touch on you not only been coached by one probably legendary coach in Seattle, you've been coached by 2. You talked about DHennes earlier, and pretty much started Seattle Rotary. Now has been your coach at the 17 EYBL. What has he meant also for your game? And pretty much, like I said, he's coached you since you was a kid.
Yeah. Daryl for me has been like him and Coach Dan.
Yeah. Shout out Dan Finkel too, man.
Yeah. Adam and all them.
Yeah.
They literally have seen me since I was like 4 years old. Was my first game at the Rotary. They were the first coaches I've ever had. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Just, just how many Daryl's probably had 15, 20 opportunities, leave Rotary or leave Seattle and go, be a whatever, a manager or anybody to one of the players who he's, helped go pro or anything like that. But he's, he's been offered a lot of money and stuff like that, but he's always stayed around Rotary and came back down and helped the kids who coming up next. I mean, he's still doing that. He did it with me, and he just now stop doing it with me because I'm gone now. But yeah, he's giving me rides, bought me food, like countless things, and he's just taught me a lot about the game. And DHennes one of just like the best people. Like he's hella funny. Like DHennes is just one of the best people to be around. So he's been a huge help in my basketball career.
That's good, man. That's real good. Yeah, shout out to DHennes, man. He was somebody that helped me too, man. Did a lot for me. So definitely shout out D80.
Yeah, he do a lot. He do a lot for. It's not, and he don't just treat his best players. He don't just help his best players out. He help everybody out.
Yeah,
I've seen him give kids just who don't even play for Rotary Select. They just play in the in-house league. I've seen him give them shoes and stuff. So like, he a help to everybody.
A lot of people. Go ahead, Otis.
Go ahead, Fred. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say a lot of people. That's one thing that they love about D is that he sticks to himself. He's not about the extras. He's about giving back to the kids. You know what I mean? Giving everything that he's got, and he keeps sending that elevator down time after time. So that's one thing I love about D, man.
And that's why we need to get him on here, man. P, next time you see him pressing, man, he needs to be in front of the mic. I know that's not his thing.
Yeah, I know. That 19th and Spruce history, man.
He'll do it. I think he'll do it.
Yeah.
You're now listening to Hoop Narrative Podcast. If you're now checking in, we got our boy Paolo Banchero on the mic, top 3 player in the nation, going to Duke University next year. So this is now. What was that?
Say go Blue Devils, baby.
So this is now going to be the third. I mean, now Coach K is on another level. I mean, Coach Carr and D is legends to us, but this is now going to be the third coach to put his hands on you and to grind you up. What was it? I'm pretty sure Coach K had a lot to do, but what else was it about Duke that made you want to go there?
Yeah. Outside of it being, Duke.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real.
That is real.
I took my visit out there last October, almost like a year ago from now. Went down to Countdown and craziness. First off, I love the area. I got family in North Carolina. Durham, yeah, Durham, a great spot. It's real nice over there. The campus is beautiful. But I would just say, the amount of just players at my position that, or my, I wouldn't even say, because Coach K really don't. That's one of the biggest things. He don't really, his best players, he don't give them a position, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
He kind of let them play. If you looked at Zion or RJ or Jason Tatum, Brandon Ingram, even Mark Bagley, like they kind of just had freedom within the offense. Just
that's true.
Play wherever, guard whoever. They just have a lot of freedom. So, and it was crazy to me because Duke is probably it is the biggest school out of all the schools that I was considering, and they was offering me, talking about giving me the most freedom and telling me how I needed to, be able to be free and do what I think and not think about what I have to do. That was like the main thing he would preach to me. And he was by far the most frequent head coach that I was hearing from, which was also crazy because he's the best head coach. So
relationships.
Exactly. So just how much he was invested in me and how much he still is invested in me, along with the rest of the staff, Coach Shire, Nolan Smith, rest of the staff, it was hard. Like it was a hard decision probably for the first year and a half of my recruitment. And then I would say probably at the end of July, like it just became a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Really.
What year did Duke start recruiting you?
They started recruiting me. They hit me the first day that I was allowed to hear from coaches. They texted me.
Okay.
And then they offered me after Peach Jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I wanted to know was like, did it come down to how they like how you wanted to play? Was that one of the biggest deciding factors for you? Like where the school you went, how they seen you offensively and defensively?
Yeah, they was just it was different. Like the way they was talking to me was different than everybody else. So
Yeah.
and then, the proof's in the pudding. Like a lot of schools would say stuff, but they had no proof of what they were saying.
Yeah.
They had no players who were doing things that they were talking about letting me do. So that's
Yeah.
no proof. But Duke, they showed me countless film, you know, a bunch of players just and would show me specific things too, like specific down to the T of sets and
Mhm.
ways that they was using these players in these sets and just where they saw me. And then they would just lay out, what the roster would look like when I got there.
Mhm.
How they would see me, defending, who would they see me defending, and just stuff like that.
Really tried to paint that picture for you.
Exactly. Really try to, paint the picture in my head on how I'd be used and how they really see me. And so, and the way he was, just the way he was talking about me, and the way he really, how much he believes in my game is just, it's so encouraging because hearing it from a legend like Coach K is crazy. So to really think that, or to really know that, he believed in me like that is uplifting for sure.
And see, I was able to talk to your mom, Dukes, about maybe a month or two ago. I co-host on another radio show, and it was she kind of said something like on kind of the words that you kind of just said about you playing on the 17s your freshman year, and she said that She said it was also to do with playing on the big stage as well when it comes to Duke basketball, sold out arena every night. The
Good
Cameron
Cameron
Crazies.
Indoor.
You got the biggest rivalry in NCAA basketball when you have to play North Carolina twice. Like, what does that?
Elite non-conference schedule.
Yeah, elite
Like,
non-conference schedule. Like, what is about competing on the best level for you, bro? Like, what is it about you that brings the best out of you?
Yeah, that's also been, ever since I've kind of been a young kid. Like I thrive under pressure, and I don't really know why. Like I be getting nervous too. That's the crazy part. But I just making it. I be finding a way for it to work.
Yeah.
I got countless stories of me being under pressure. Like literally countless stories. Like I used to run track, and I used to be a long jumper, and I was like a national level long jumper. And so I was at nationals in the finals, and the finals is 8 people. And I think I was 12. I was 12. And so the finals, you get 3 jumps. And I scratched my first 2. And I was the second to last jumper. So everyone else was set. Everyone else had done their 3rd jump except for one other person. And so it was my last jump, and I cracked the board perfect and landed a PR, like best PR for the season, and finished 3rd and won a bronze. So like just stuff like that. Like I just thrive under pressure, thrive on the big stage, love the big moments. So I mean, going to Duke, you got the Champions Classic. We play Kentucky first game of the year in New York. Just no bigger stage than that. Playing in Cameron, every away game sold out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got countless ESPN games. So it's just the biggest stage possible. And
That's that's what's up, P. Talking about your mom, she was, a legend at Franklin and a legend at UW,
Fred,
played for the
You trying to say you should have went to Franklin?
Oh man, come on, man. Pete knows. Pete knows. We talked about this, and I've talked to his mom about this, man. Address is good too, but nah.
this is
Your
perfect.
mom, yeah, your mom played for the Seattle Rain, and had some pro years. Your dad played at UW as well, played football. Just talk a little bit about their impact on your life, like how important it's been. Having those guys. I see them with you a lot. I see your mom. She's always rooting for you at the day game. She's, your big fan, and your dad's one of your biggest fans too, but he's this quiet guy that's over in the corner.
I
Like
remember when you was like a kid, like at Rotary, Pops was always there. I think he was coaching you a little bit too in house, I think.
Yeah. That was back when you used to ref.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Him
Giving you
and
bad calls.
Jokey.
But now my parents, they've been everything.
Yeah.
Everyone that knows my family been around, they know my dad's quiet, laid back, and they know my mom's fiery, talk a lot, especially at the games. And that's how it's been for me. Like in my life, my dad's always been, the wise one, just preaching attitude and effort and everything I do. And as long as I give great attitude and effort, everything's gonna work out. And really, that's held true, my whole life. As long as I give 100% in those two categories, it works out. My mom, she's more, in your face, like making sure I'm working out, making sure I'm not, ever getting big headed, always being there to, humble me whenever I get a little bit of, clout or whatever.
Right. Start reading your articles. Huh?
So she's been, now she's more, like she don't really give me as much advice, or no, I shouldn't say that. She don't coach me as much because, I'm about to be 18. Like I'm about to go to college. Like I kind of understand it now, it's clicked. But when I was younger, I was hearing it after every game, during the game.
Right.
She was yelling at me during the game, in the car after the game, like it's on me. And I hated it. After practice at Holy Names, we was getting our fundamentals in hour after practice, mic and drill, ball handling, passing, like making sure I was doing all that at a young age. And it really just, stuck with me, the work. And, she's on me so tough because, she's told me that, in her career, she felt like she didn't, get as much out of it as she could have. She felt like she could have worked a little harder, done a couple things different, to have a better career. So she just don't want me to make those same mistakes. So that's why she's been on me so tough for since I was a young kid.
That's what's up. Shout out Miss Rhonda, man.
Yeah.
Fred, so you said both parents went to UW, right?
Yeah.
And then the kind of the talk around town was, UW had a great chance, but why not stay home and play for the Dub?
Yeah. That's it's a pretty straight up answer. Like,
and your parents were there too, so I know it was tough.
Yeah, well, it really wasn't. It really wasn't, but it's a straight up answer. It's like growing up, I didn't even care about no other college. Like I was UW.
Yeah.
I was going to every football camp, basketball camp. Like I was UW, 100%. I wanted to play for Coach Romar. Coach Romar has known me since I was 7 years old. Like
that was tough losing him.
Yeah, my best friend from kindergarten. We're not as close now, but we still cool. But my best friend from kindergarten, his mom is the athletic director there.
Oh, okay.
And so she was the assistant athletic director growing up. So I've been around UW my whole life. And for sure, when I was, growing up, I wasn't going anywhere else. But to me, it just feel like, they kind of lost their, in basketball at least, they, to me, it felt like they lost, their swag almost. Like when they was with Romar and they had IT and Holiday and like those teams where they was like competing with Kentucky at Maui Invitational and like really like running and talking mess and like, those teams were my favorite to watch. But even with Tony and Terrence, like they didn't make the tournament. Now they should have, but they didn't.
Did you see when IT hit the game-winning shot versus Arizona?
Bro, that's like a mark in my childhood, bro. Like
that's like classic Dub energy right there, man.
Exactly. Like them games against Arizona, like just all that. Like I just feel like they lost that, even though they wasn't really good when Romar was like he had a couple of bad seasons. Like I just felt like they could at least give him one more.
Yeah.
How do you think the season went last year for them?
It was a bad season. I felt like they started out good, but I just felt like it was a little. I don't know. I just feel like they could have done a lot more different than what they did.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I agree too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but but and honestly, I would in a perfect world, I want to go there. I'd want to.
Yeah.
But
everyone would love to see you there, exactly. But you gotta do what's best for you, and we understand that.
Yeah, everyone want to put on for the hometown. Like
right.
that's everyone's dream. Like, ask Nolan, ask Shane, ask whoever the same thing. Like, they'll say the same thing.
Yeah.
Um,
You going to Duke is also putting on for the hometown. I want you to know that too. You
yeah,
know,
exactly.
I hear
Like,
that. I hear that saying a lot, but
Mhm.
you going to Duke is definitely putting on for the state of Washington.
yeah, and I
That's
feel
something.
like it's putting on even more,
Yep.
Right.
honestly,
It
because
is
when
on
a
a
kid,
bigger grand scheme of
yeah,
things.
when a kid from here turn on ESPN, they see me on there playing for Duke,
That's real.
killing, and they say I'm from Seattle. Like, that's putting on for Seattle more
Mhm.
than playing on
Mhm.
Pac-12 Network. Really,
And that's no knock to UW at all.
No,
That's
No knock.
facts.
yeah, just a bigger stage, So
Mhm.
that's
And
how I feel, But I still love all the coaches over there. I've known all the coaches over
shout
there.
out Coach Hop, Dub, and Cam.
Yeah. But things just didn't work out. So I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't meant to be.
Right.
And you spoke on, your Rotary teammate there over the last couple years now, Nolan Hickman.
Hmm.
He's going to Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's two guys now going to blue blood schools. Speak on. I mean, you already started to speak on it, but speak on what it means just to see not you, but also now Nolan going to Kentucky. Like, speak on like what is that going to mean for the town moving forward?
Oh, it's gonna be huge because I know specifically, coaches told me, Duke coaches, Kentucky coaches, when I was getting recruited, how every time they've came to the Northwest, they've missed for the most part.
Okay.
Wow.
Like, Kentucky got Terrence Jones, but every other kid they recruited from Northwest, they missed. Duke
Mhm.
missed. Duke was recruiting. John Brockman didn't get him. They recruited some other guys, didn't get him. And you could just I could almost like that's why I was so happy for Nolan, because not only is it good for us, it's good for all the younger kids, because if we didn't go there, like, let's say we stay home, or stay home, I guess. Let's say we stay home. I don't think, I mean, especially for as much time as they put in like for Duke, they put in a year and a half of recruiting into me. So
Yeah.
they, came to O'Day to visit me and stuff like that. So they put in a lot of effort, and it's a long ways away. So I mean, I just feel like if I didn't go there, who knows? They might not come back. They might hear about it
Right.
from Seattle, who's a killer, but they're like, man, it ain't even worth it. He ain't gonna, come out here. So I feel like with me and Nolan going to Duke in Kentucky, I know for sure now that the next killer from Seattle, he gonna definitely look at from Duke in Kentucky. So
You
They're
speaking
gonna
some
be able to
gems
look
right now.
themselves in the mirror and be like, P wore the same Rotary jersey that I'm wearing. You know what I mean? Like, he took those same steps. I could do that too.
exactly, and that's what a couple of the younger, freshmen and eighth graders who you can tell, they gonna be good when they're older. That's why I keep telling them, like, you probably don't see it, even like couple of sophomores, like, y'all don't see it right now. Like,
Right.
you guys ain't getting recruited right now. They can't talk to you right now, but I promise you, like, next summer, the summer after that, like, it's gonna happen really fast, and a lot of
And
people.
you better be ready.
Yeah, you got to be ready, and it's gonna be a lot, but it's what you work for, and you got to embrace it. So
Now speaking of being ready, now that you have a really good chance of playing on a pro level, but you also had a chance of playing on a pro level even before, and the NBA is even an option. Uh, you were you're going to possibly play with the Italian men's national team, right?
yeah, I'm on the team, but yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
Talk about that.
yeah, no, that was
that's a big accomplishment, P.
yeah, no, it is, and I'm super excited. But that started because I was on USA, and I was in USA basketball in that program.
Mhm.
So I was doing that, and then they had reached out to me when I was like a sophomore. Um, they reached out to my dad, and my dad told me about it, and I kind of brushed it off because I loved USA. Like, USA,
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that forever, because
Mhm.
I learned a lot over there. So I kind of brushed it off and whatever, just kept doing my thing. And then after last summer, after the last time I went to USA in July, they had reached out again, and they was like, we're gonna give you an opportunity to play on the men's, senior team on the national team. And so when my dad told me that, I was like, the national team, like U18? He was like, nah. He was like, the national team, like Olympic.
The big boy.
Yeah, he was like the Olympics, like with Gallinari and all of them. And so I was like, oh, I'm like, okay. So then we went and like we had a meeting with him in San Francisco, and so we talked to the coaches, and I hadn't committed to playing yet, but I was getting close. And then when was that? I think this summer I really officially did. And I was gonna go to the Olympics this year. I would have already been done that, but COVID and all that happened. But so next year, when the Olympics happen next year. But I'm actually going out there in November, end of November, which is probably what you guys seen.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Yeah, for the European Championship qualifiers. So, I'm excited for that for sure. Just because none of the NBA guys will be playing, so I'll have an opportunity, really, have the ball in my hands and show out. And just it'll be a new experience. I've never played on the international stage, so it's different rules, different play style. I heard it's a lot more physical, so it's gonna be an experience for sure.
What P, I'm trying to think on top of my head. What NBA players will be on that team when it comes to the Olympics?
Yeah, it'll be
You said Gallo.
Gallinari, Marco Bellinelli,
Bellinelli, yep.
Nico Mannion,
Okay.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Okay.
Is there another pro on there? I don't know.
You said Nico Melli, right?
Melli, yeah, Melli.
Okay.
And Nico
who's that for the Pelicans?
Yep.
Nicola Melli, and then Nico Mannion as well.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys are gonna have a chance to compete at a high level then.
Yeah, we're gonna play, and then we have to qualify for the Olympics first.
Right, you got to qualify, right?
And I think we play Serbia, I believe.
Oh,
they're good.
Yeah.
You know who you might get matched up with, right?
I already I already know.
For all you guys that don't know, Nikola Jokic is from Serbia, so that's who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just like you said, just like you've been saying though around this whole episode, these are the type of moments you live for, though.
Exactly.
And talking about those moments too, Otis, P, I just want you to talk about the EYBL and what it means for the guys that work on their game, being able to have that platform, what it's done for you. And do you feel like it's prepared you for the next level?
Yeah, for sure. I was 15 years old going at it with James Wiseman, Isaiah Stewart, who else? A bunch of dudes, Kofi Cockburn, all them dudes. Like, and I was a young kid. Like, I was a young kid.
You was putting in work.
Exactly. But I mean, on EYBL, it's either you thrive or you get ate up. Really, like,
bro. People hear about it. That's why I want you to talk to them about like how real it is, man.
And I remember Daryl telling me in like 7th grade. I remember saying something. I think it might have been he might have came back from an EYBL session, and I always follow Rotary on the circuit before I started playing on the circuit. So I remember asking him. I think I was like, man, y'all went 1-3 or something, or I said something like that. I was like, man, y'all only won one game or went 0-4 or something. And he was like, yeah. He was like, but he said that EYBL a different animal, P. He was like, he said something. And he was like, you either gonna get ate up or you gonna something. It was just said something. And that's like the fact that I even remember that, like that stuck in my head. I was like, damn. I gotta like that just stuck in my head, stuck with me. And so yeah, and he wasn't lying. Like you either like in them games are intense, like there's no other circuit that even compare. Like it's just a different beast for real. Like I done seen dudes just break down on the circuit and be like, man, like not even want to play hoop no more. Like
right. For real.
Like I seen dudes like on the verge of tears. So
yeah, I personally rather watch the EYBL circuit than the NCAA basketball. And just like you said, I mean, it's a doggy dog world. I mean, you got 6 gyms, everybody packed in. If you're a top player, they're coming to watch you play, which you are. So I mean, I know you have to deal with crowds, going against top players, and just like you said, I mean, I think last year you averaged like 20 plus and like 10 plus rebounds.
Yeah.
And then EYBL. So not only did you play well, like I said, you pretty much dominated and put your stamp on the EYBL. So,
Yeah.
and then also not even just that, going back to Seattle, I mean, it's kind of early to have like these talks, but you know what you've done not only at O'Day but Rotary. It's kind of hard to like when you talk about like top players that come out of Seattle. I understand we have a long list. You know, usually they're guards for the most part, besides what Big Josh and then
Mhm.
maybe you said Josh Heupfeld and a couple other guys. I have no problem with throwing you in there with the names already. When we're talking about just Seattle basketball, with
Yeah.
the B. Roys, the Jamal Crawfords, the Peyton Sievas, the Tony Rotens, your name is up there. I can't put really a list on there. Where do you see yourself on that list?
Yeah. It's hard for me to put myself in there just because,
He like I know I'm just on it, huh?
yeah, nah, like, because I just like I said, like I was one of them little kids that just only watched basketball. Like, and my mom was a basketball. My mom coached in the Metro League high school basketball, so I was at quad games. I would go to a lot of games younger. So I watched Tony. I watched Peyton. I watched Michael Porter. I watched whoever else, Shaquan and all them. Like I watched all them.
Baby
Jalen.
boy.
Yeah, and them dudes to me, especially when I was younger, like I thought of them dudes as like gods, you know, like,
Zach LaVine.
exactly. Like nobody was touching those dudes, in my opinion. But I mean, like I said, then when I sit back and think about it and the stuff that I've done and things like that, like I could definitely understand why somebody or like how someone can make a case.
Yeah.
And I do think that I could get put up there with those guys. But I definitely
some of those guys haven't done what you've done resume wise, P. Just letting you know, resume wise. Some of those guys
Not for real.
Yeah.
So,
but like dudes like Tony Rowan, like it was just the way he like carried himself, bro. Like
that swagger, huh?
Yeah, like his swagger. Like I kind of wish I had that, even though it hurt him in some aspects. But he just nobody was messing with him. Like Daryl's told me so many stories about them playing whoever, and he's just talking crazy.
Tone played with us. He used to play 2 grades up. He played with us, so it was like his that freshman year, his 8th grade year when he played up with us. He was a freshman and we were sophomores, and he blew up in Vegas when he went against Tristan Thompson. Those guys, he kind of blew up. That's when we knew like this dude's really special.
Mm-hmm.
He was number 1 in the country for 2 years in a row. So it was like he's about to do some,
Yeah.
It was really a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, I just pay my respect to them dudes just because they paved the way for dudes like me, Nolan, and everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And then you talk about just like you've just been ready on every level. There was an opportunity that you could have went to play in the NBA G League and to skip college. What was your thought process about that? How close did you really get to taking that opportunity?
Yeah, I thought about it. I just always wanted, like, G League, it's just not a really big stage, really.
Mm-hmm.
And like them dudes aren't gonna be playing on ESPN, really. Like, they're gonna be in the NBA system, but you never see G League games on ESPN unless they get a top 10 player or something.
Yeah.
So college is just the biggest stage. By the time I'm in college, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to get paid for some things. I'm not sure the specifics on that, but we'll be able to get paid. Make some money.
Yeah, they're definitely working on that.
Yeah, they're working on it. They've been telling me how tricky it is just to because there's gonna be so many loopholes. They feel like but but it's just gonna be a big stage. That's what I always want to play in the tournament. Play on CBS in the tournament, like stuff like that. Like I've just grown up watching that stuff, and I've always wanted to do it, dreamed of doing it. So it's my chance to do it. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I've always felt like you was a basketball junkie. So even when some people was talking about the G League, I'm like, I just feel like, P's the type of dude. He wants that experience. He wants the NCAA tournament. He wants the conference tournament. He wants the, those Saturday morning games, CBS, you know what I mean?
Super Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Get Dickie V at a game to call you a diaper
Diaper
dandy. You know
dandy.
what I mean? Like that stuff means something.
Yeah.
But you know, you talk about being able to get to that level, P. I know you worked out in the mornings with your dad sometimes at 5:30 in the mornings. Like a lot of people heard about it all over the city. Talk about what it was like this season, getting up every morning, being the guy you are at 5:30 in the morning, putting in work. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, I don't broadcast the stuff I do really.
Yeah. You're a
Oh,
humble dude. But
yeah,
I used to always hear about it like Paolo's in the gym at 5:30 in the morning and he's top 3 in the country.
yeah, and I don't even know how. 'Cause I remember Al Ward hit me like, "Yo, I heard you're working out at
Man,
5:30."
I'm telling you, it travels.
He was like, "I heard you're working out at 5:30. Can I come film a session?" And I was like, I mean, I guess I don't even know how he heard about it, but anyways, I mean, yeah, I don't really broadcast stuff I do, but I feel like there's nobody who work harder than me. Um, you know, especially during that time like last fall, I was in the gym at 5:30, then went to school, then played open gym, then went to the track and worked out with Mike Cunliffe, then would go back to the gym. Like I was just doing a lot, really trying to grind and get better. And now with this quarantine, we lost the state championship. I don't remember the exact date, but it was on a Saturday. And then we got let out of school because of Corona on that Tuesday. And I remember I took the rest of that week off. I didn't touch a ball the rest of that week. And then the week after, I started getting in with Mike Knight at the gym downtown. And so I've been in there literally probably 5-6 days a week. Haven't missed. I've probably maybe, unless I've been out of town, like I haven't missed a day almost. Like I just been in there 5-6 days a week. Working out there, doing the rebar, like getting my body right.
Yeah. I've seen a transformation on your body too, P.
Exactly, like getting more flexible, getting more fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got a couple of clips on my phone, like just the improvement that I made, just even from this past season. Like I move way better. I'm way more athletic, way more fluid, just way more sharp and everything. And so that's why I really just been trying to use this time to stay sharp, get better. And then when that time comes, I look forward to showing it. So that's what I'm waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
And that narrative you're preaching, P, is exactly why you're where you're at right now, which is exactly why you've won at every level, and this is exactly why. I mean, I can't really put a future on like, what your exactly like what your numbers or whatever is going to be, but I know for damn sure that you are going to win at the next level, and when you make it to the NBA, you're going to win the championship in my eyes.
Yeah,
There's
that's true.
those are everything that you've been saying along this episode is exactly what every coach wants. When you get to that level is what a general manager is going to want. You are the piece that you build around and you win with. So we definitely want to appreciate you for having you on, P. It's gonna be your future's bright, bro.
I got one question for him before he gets out of here.
Go ahead.
P, what's your one takeaway from that tough state championship loss?
Bro,
I know I hate to ask you, but what's one? Just give me one takeaway if you could. That may help you. If you don't got one, I'll understand. But if you got one,
that's the one big moment where like I felt like I just completely, not even like I didn't even have a bad game, but it was just I just folded. Like I just didn't like if I just wish I could go back and play that game again, just because I feel like I wasn't like aggressive and I just wasn't like that day of that game. Like it was on a Saturday. I remember I slept in like too late. Like it was just
it's tough. Yeah,
just
bad
started from the
energy the whole
beginning.
day.
Yeah,
it was just like I started the game. I didn't treat it like it was a state championship. Like I tried to downplay it.
That's
like
honest. That's honest of you too, P. I respect that.
No, I tried to downplay it. Like Garfield, they was running through that whole tournament. They had just smacked the East Side. Like they was hot. They knew what the stakes was. Me, I tried to, and I felt like the energy kind of ran throughout the team. We just kind of downplayed it and was like kind of treated like any other game.
Yeah,
Shouldn't have done, and I just wasn't aggressive. I wasn't. Like if I really go back and do that game, I probably would shot the ball 30 times. And would have just
I'm living and dying with my best player regardless. So I hear you on that.
Forced it, but
yeah.
I think about that game all the time. For real.
You take your wins with your losses, and like you say, you live and learn. And I'm pretty sure next time you're in that predicament, like you say, you're gonna die shooting. You're gonna die being aggressive.
Right.
Yep, for sure.
Hoop Narrative Podcast, man. We got Paolo Banchero on here. You can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube now. We got a YouTube set up. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram.
Hoop Narrative everything.
All over the place. And like I said, P just spoke some real narrative. And this is a youngin', ladies and gentlemen. So this is crazy to hear.
He sounds like he's 27 years old. You know what I mean? He's crazy. He's 17.
Like I said, this is somebody. Those are the players that you want to build around, like moving forward. We want to appreciate you, P, for definitely hopping on, man. Especially after we just had Maul come in and serve for you, man. We about to be booming, bro.
Yeah, no, you guys.
Yeah,
you guys. At least it's like you guys both played hoops, so like I be seeing too many podcasts.
Yeah, I know. That's appreciate that, P. We giving people the real narrative, the real perspective. So
exactly.
We appreciate
bro, you don't even want to know like what our DMs look like or how many people's been asking us to hop on. Some been legit, some legit.
Nah, you
all right, man. Sure, thank you, P. Appreciate it. You guys can catch P, man. Duke Blue Devils next year, man. Cameron Indoor.
Yeah, P, we definitely got to wrap too. Definitely before, at least before the season starts next year or while during the season, we definitely got to have you back on.
No, it's good. Yeah, whenever.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hoop Narrative Podcast. I got P up in here. Fred Joe, man. We out, man.